How did a teenager in his early 20s become the world's youngest grandfather? He didn't marry at an early age for no purpose. Even with your wildest imagination, you're unlikely to figure it out. Continue reading to learn how this incredible story came to be. Tommy Connolly, 23, was a student at the University of the Sunshine Coast in Queensland, Australia, when his life altered. Everything seemed perfect until he received a Facebook message one day. Tommy was not only an excellent student, but also a talented athlete. He excelled in track and field to the point where he participated internationally. However, something unforeseen would put a stop to his seemingly promising sports career. Tommy was usually quite active in his spare time. Hiking, whitewater rafting, and rock climbing are among his favorite outdoor activities. He also worked several part-time jobs and saved a significant amount of money. His time and resources would be required to raise his grandchild. But how did that come to be? Olivia Taro, Tommy's girlfriend, was also a gifted athlete. Before they started dating, they had been friends for 8 years. The irony is that Olivia is not the grandmother here. She, too, was taken aback when she discovered she was dating a father and grandpa. Tommy received a surprising Facebook message from his cousin Kyrana, with whom he hadn't communicated in nearly a decade. They used to be quite close as children. She did, however, have some shocking news. Tommy knew after a few interactions that Kyrana, 16, had had a difficult life since they last saw one another. She was homeless, without a house, shoes, or clothing. She was desperate for assistance. Tommy, on the other hand, had no idea that she wasn't the only one in danger. When Tommy found out what had happened to her, he was surprised and heartbroken. She was a wide-eyed infant in his memory, usually smiling and seeking to play with others. He also felt bad about not learning about her predicament sooner. Even if it meant making personal sacrifices, he knew he had to do something to aid her. Tommy drove down to pick up his cousin and take her to lunch right away. After that, Kyrana told him everything. Tommy provided Kyrana a place to stay without hesitation. Even though he was working and attending college, he swore to assist her in any way he could. Her life was improving, but she still kept Tommy in the dark about a major secret. Kyrana had been pregnant for 23 weeks. She was hesitant to inform Tommy because she was afraid he would refuse to assist her. Instead, after learning her secret, he applied to be her permanent guardian. There was, however, a major issue with Kyrana's pregnancy on the horizon. Child Services had been following Kyrana and planned to take the kid away after she gave birth since she couldn't sustain him, according to her. Kyrana had been tortured by this horrible news throughout her pregnancy. How were they going to persuade Child Services to change their minds? Tommy was in a race against time to ensure Kyrana was a qualified mother before the baby arrived. He tutored her in reading, writing, and driving. He stocked up on baby supplies and accompanied Kyrana to her prenatal appointments. He even spent his entire life savings on a larger apartment for them. Tommy had no time to train for his track and field competitions as a result, but his efforts were sufficient recompense. Kyrana had a home, clothes, and a pet thanks to Tommy, and she had learnt some vital life skills, obtained her driver's license, and gotten her learner's permit. Tommy's request for full custody of Kyrana was also approved at the same time. Kyrana's and her unborn baby's lives were becoming increasingly hopeful. They were anticipating the big day. Tommy became Kyrana's legal guardian just 2 months after she gave birth to a baby called Caden. Tommy was present throughout. Because Tommy was Kyrana's legal guardian, the birth of her child made him the world's youngest grandfather at the age of 23. Everyone, even Tommy's fiancée, assisted in the care of baby Caden once they returned home from the hospital. After hearing their heartfelt narrative, their neighbors joined in. Together, the three formed an unusually large, happy family. Tommy worked part-time in a local real estate company while also juggling his studies and grandfatherly responsibilities. He went on to establish UN Real Estate, his own real estate firm. So how was Caden doing throughout it all? Caden was developing into a charming young man surrounded by affection. Kyrana determined she would never let her young kid go through anything like she had. However, Tommy had not anticipated their story becoming popular online. Kyrana is getting along swimmingly with Caden and has reconnected with family members with whom she had lost contact. She even graduated from high school and obtained a full-time job.